Whose responsibility is it when it comes to self-defense? Who would like to speak first? Carly.
I would say it's the responsibility of the person that knows self-defense to be responsible for themselves if they're being attacked and being prepared for that.
So you're saying that it's your responsibility to learn self-defense?
Yes.
But what about the person attacking you? Why are they attacking you? It's their fault. They shouldn't be attacking you in the first place.
I agree. Like, as in a respectful, peaceful world, I would like to think that nobody's going to attack me, but I'm afraid that we don't live in that world.
But it is what it is, yeah.
But we could train everybody, right? We could train everybody to be harmless. In fact, maybe it's a good idea to put everybody in jail from birth, right? And then when they're acceptable to go out into public, we can let them out. How about that?
No.
It will make things worse.
Right? No, that's not acceptable. I'm just making reason, because right now what I'm hearing is that, I'm being attacked. That's not my fault.
Carly already said it very well, that the responsibility should be with the individual, because if we reverse those roles and we take a look at the attacker shouldn't attack people in the first place, well, who's responsible for that? So you put organisations in charge of rounding all the bad people up and making sure that they're not out in society. It's not realistic. How do you do that? And I think you could take a view of, well, the attacker shouldn't attack in the first place, but there's people that are mentally unwell. There's people that don't have an understanding of what they're doing.
But you're going to make a small mistake. You cut the person up, right? And that person starts screaming and shouting, calling your names, and they say something so bad, like something about your mother, right? And then you get out of the car and what did you say to me in the middle of the road? And then you start kicking the person's car. It happens. All because of what reason? What was the problem? Why did this happen?
Well, I would say there were two problems.
Go ahead.
There was one person in the first place that decided to, you could see it as a verbal assault. They were verbally attacking the other person, but then the other person decided to respond to that. Why did they get out of the car in the first place?
Exactly. Why did you get out of the car in the first place? It was unnecessary, right? The person's calling your name. So what? People are calling your names all the time. So half the time you don't even hear it because you're in separate cars. And now and again, you may hear it. But it's up to you to have the emotional control to be like, get on with your day.
You know, he doesn't have control of his actions. You could get somebody who is aggressive on alcohol, can't control himself. All of those things are out of our control. So we need to be in a position to control the environment we're in.
Exactly. You can't control everybody. That's the main focus right now of what you just said, that you can't control other people. You can control yourself, right? You go on a cruise and you never learn how to swim. And you fall overboard. Something happens, the boat is so wavy, the ship is so wavy and the cruise and it got chaos and you fell overboard and you didn't know how to swim. Well, that's down to your own responsibility that you never took classes when it came to swimming. Yes.
I think the cruise example is a good example, and if you relate that to a self-defense situation, you're in a bad position and somebody decides to attack you, something goes wrong and you end up getting killed. Well, what do you do then? You complain to the authorities? You can't, you're dead.
Yeah.
In that situation, the primary objective for you is to look after your life, self-preservation. Then later on, sure, you can argue that maybe things could have been done to make that a better situation that didn't happen in the first place. But you've got to look after yourself in survival.
And the beauty about JuJutsu, it gives you that opportunity, if you have to defend yourself, not to hurt the other person. JuJutsu gives you those opportunities. It's great. You were going to speak, Anna?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that from the female perspective, it's also important to, because we get easily targeted as well, not only for sexual assault, but also to, just to get mugged or, just steal anything from you. So I think it's really, because we're an easy target, so I think as a female, it's really important to know the basics so you can actually protect yourself.
I have a question for you, Anna. When you're walking down the street, where do you keep your cell phone, your mobile phone?
In my pocket or in my hand.
Which pocket?
Front, always front.
What about you, Carly?
I don't have it on display.
Very, very good self-defense right there. Don't have it on display, even better. All I see in common communities these days, and I see this everywhere, is everyone, female-wise, has their phone in their back pocket. It's very rare I don't see a phone in the back pocket. Whether they're working in a restaurant, walking through a shopping center, I see phones always in the back pocket of women. Right? And it's very now and again I see some without that. Very now and again, but I would say it's at least 90% that I see have their phones in their back pocket. You've just made yourself a target. But again, that person stole my phone. Right? I understand that.
But it's I would say it's about also having good like situational awareness and
yes,
being alert.
Yeah.
So I find myself sometimes a train station car park coming back home late at night, going into the car park on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's got CCTV cameras, but I always make sure that I've got my car keys ready to open the car. So I've prepped before I've taken the walk to my car. I've also had a look around when I come into the car park to go, okay, is anyone there? What's around? And then I'm in my car. So I'm being direct, but I'm preparing myself before I get to the car.
You were going to say something to finish off with, Dominic?
Carly and Anna talked about easy targets, and I see that as two stages to that. One, in the first place, of not showing things that might make you vulnerable, mobile phones, expensive watches, that kind of thing. But I think a second stage, having a self-defense strategy. There was an example last year, the lady that was an air hostess, she got attacked in an underground car park very late at night. Her flight had been delayed, so she was one of the last people in the airport in this underground car park, was attacked by a man. She was able to have a strategy and put up a fight, and it was actually over very quickly because she did something. She wasn't an easy target. She put up a bit of a fight, kicked the guy, and he ended up running away. And I think sometimes when we're practicing self-defense, we kind of have this image of attackers that they're relentless and the fight will just go on and they'll never give up. Whereas actually a lot of these people are insecure and vulnerable themselves, and you put up a bit of a fight and that's enough. It's over. They'll walk away.
And what you just said there is what people miss. She survived. She wasn't there to win any gold medals. She wasn't there to win the fight. Survival was the goal.